move on to react to some top soccer headlines. And we start off um, horrible news coming out of the Norwegian camp. Horrible news for Arsenal. Martin Odegaard left the pitch in tears after being injured in their Nations League battle against Austria, in which they surprisingly won 2-1. But the 25-year-old hurt his ankle in the second half and had to be substituted. He left it in pitch, which obviously leaves him in major doubt for the North London derby at Tottenham. The North London derby at Tottenham. Arsenal already going to be without Declan Rice, who was suspended for that game, and now Martin Odegaard also being out. We have to assume those sort of ankle injuries can be really tricky. This is an injury that's more likely than not kind of take him. That's gonna make him miss more than just that game. We're talking maybe a month injury, 2 months sort of injury. Those ankle injuries are always really tricky. They start swelling and they become really hard to put any weight on, and it takes a little bit of time before you can put any weight on it and get back into sort of doing any work on it, any sort of training or anything of that sort. So obviously that's bad. When the Norwegian coach Stale Solbakken was talking to Norwegian TV, he said Martin's injury looked bad in the dressing room. I saw he was sitting with the physiotherapist around him, but he had no chance to continue, and we know it was an ankle sprain. The team doctor Ole Sand said, yes, it's a sprain, and as those of you who had played football with luck, with luck, it can turn out okay if the ligaments aren't torn. We will see. Maybe we use ultrasound to look at it if we are unsure. There will be an MRI tomorrow. Yeah, that's obviously a massive loss for Arsenal. The creativity he provides that midfield, being that sort of number 10, being what De Bruyne is for Manchester City, Odegaard being for Arsenal, and they've been injury ravaged now in that sort of midfield compartment. It goes back to Mikel Merino, that first training session, hurt, getting injured, being out for a month to 2 months. Declan Rice now being suspended for that Tottenham game, and now with Martin Odegaard as well. And Declan Rice, I believe he'll be missing 3 games because of the red card. I don't know what's the rule on 2 yellow cards. But yeah, that's gonna be a huge issue for Mikel Arteta to sort of deal with, going up against a Tottenham team that hasn't been able to get in the ball in the back of the net, but in terms of general play, have had a very good start of the season. Just in terms of general play, being able to create, being able to control possession, being able to create chances, have played some good football, just haven't been able to capitalize on that, particularly against Leicester and against Newcastle. We gotta move on to the UEFA Nations League. France were able to defeat Belgium 2-0. Keep in mind, France were coming off a disappointing loss to Italy, in which they were thoroughly outplayed at the Parc des Princes. They played this game at the Olympique Lyonnais, which is interesting why their first 2 Nations League games are at home. You kind of see it's one home, one away, one home, one away, one home, one away, but this is different. Colomwani was able to get on the goal sheet in the 29th minute, Dembele in the 57th minute. A much more improved performance for France. They were able to sort of dominate the game, control the tempo, and they looked really good against Belgium, especially compared to how they looked against Italy, in which, again, they were thoroughly outplayed. Kevin De Bruyne, he came out and he was really frustrated with the loss. He was very visibly frustrated, and he always looks frustrated playing with Belgium over recent years now. And De Bruyne said, I can't say here what went wrong. I already did that to the team at halftime. I cannot repeat that in the media, but it has to be better in every way. If the standard we want to reach is the best, but we're no longer good enough to get to that level, then you have to give everything. If you don't even do that, it's over. Um, De Bruyne said, I can accept that we're not as good as in 2018. I was the first to see that, but the other things are unacceptable. I'm not going to say what. And yeah, and he also said, we are too many at the back. If you stay with six at the back, there is no connection. It is what it is. It is not about transition, but about the people who do not perform their tasks. Dominic Tedesco said he understood De Bruyne's frustration. He said he is our captain and has a huge winning mentality, so he can also react emotionally. And sometimes, look, I understand the emotions of Kevin De Bruyne. He's frustrating. He's a leader. He's a captain. But sometimes too much frustration can lead to some resentment from your teammates. So it's important for De Bruyne to sort of balance that going forward. Obviously, he's accepted the fact that this is not a team that can compete with the bestest of teams. But all he wants is for the players to work at that highest level to sort of try to make up the talent gap. But again, you need to find sort of a balance within your teammates in terms of, yes, being frustrated and getting onto them, but also, not annoying them to where there is any resentment as well. But yeah, it's clear that this Belgium team is far their best, but I still commend Kevin De Bruyne for the heart. There's still a huge heart there, and he still cares. And he could take the easy way out and just retire. Being age 33 is not something that'd be frowned upon. He could just retire and focus on the club football for the rest of his career. But obviously, there's a huge heart there, and there's a huge passion there, and a huge desire there. So I hope Kevin De Bruyne goes on to play for Belgium for another 5 6 years, whatever he has left in his career, and continues to sort of be that sort of leader for them, because the heart is there, and you can't say that for other teammates, specifically Thibaut Courtois, who's sort of who's essentially walking away from the national team because of a coach not giving him the captain armband. Yeah. hmm Let's go back to the Nations League though. Um, France played Belgium. Spain were able to get past Switzerland on Sunday, 4-1. Danny Olmo suffered an injury in that game. That's also a blow for Barcelona. Not as big of a blow that Odegaard is for Arsenal, but with him, with the knee injury that he suffered, what Hansi Flick needed for this Barcelona team is to sort of ease him into the Barcelona team and get him playing more and more, so he sort of builds a rhythm and sort of builds a connection to his teammates. Now that's gonna be delayed because of this injury, but they also dodged a bullet in the fact that the medical tests are not bad. This is not no ACL or something that can be devastating, and devastating sort of injury. It seems to be he didn't suffer a major injury, so the key for him now is to sort of get back to rehabbing. He's back at Barcelona already, getting to rehab so he can get back as soon as possible so he can be fit and firing for Barcelona. Thank you guys for tuning into the GSMC Soccer Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. So thank you once again, and have a wonderful day.